I'll be turning this new 3DS XL into the best 3DS XL you've ever seen. This is episode 2 of repairing 3 Japanese new 3DS XLs. I was successfully able to repair the first one, and now comment down below if you think I can repair the second one. This is the second Japanese new 3DS XL out of the 3 I'm making a series on, so inspecting the cosmetic condition here. I mean, the console seems to be in very poor condition cosmetically, so now let's turn it on to see if it actually works. So let's flip it up, and I'll press the power button here, and let's see if it will turn on. Really hoping it turns on here. I can see no issues with the screen. Oh, we have a little light and it turns on. That's great. But I think the brightness is too bright for the camera to see anything. So let me adjust that. There we go. And I can see it's in very good condition. Testing out the buttons, and the joystick seems to be responsive, but I can see a bit more scratches on the lens here. We'll definitely take a look at that. But I want to test out the charging port next. So I have my cable here. I'm going to plug it in. Let's see, we have to see that orange light. Yep, orange light. That's good. Let me move it around a little bit. Yep, I think that's good. And now let's check out the game cartridge slot. I need a DS game for this Japanese 3DS, but it seems to be working. Inspecting the top shell for this, I can see the metallic paint has really come off here. I mean, the bottom shell isn't that bad, but we'll definitely replace that as well. There's some scratches on here. So let's turn off the console, but I can see the lens is also a bit scratched up, so we'll definitely replace that. But now let's start our repairs. So these are the parts that I'll be using. So we have a back cover, a front cover, and we have our screen lens. I will start by repairing the top shell here. I can see that the metallic paint on the console has really started to come off, so this shell needs to be replaced. Also, I want to replace the screen lens as well. I can see it's pretty scratched up, but in order to access both of these components, we need to remove these 4 screw covers and unscrew the top lid. And with those unscrewed, I can now push this up and reveal the top part. So this is our bad top cover. As you can see, the metallic paint is really coming off of there, but before I replace a new one, I want to replace the screen lens first, so I'll put the new one on top. So let's do that. So what I do to replace the screen lens is I first unscrew the speaker cable and I prop out the top screen so I can lay it back flat so I can cleanly see the screen lens here. So I'm going to lay it back, and I'm going to take a very smooth tipped bit for my screwdriver. I'm just going to get under there and lightly push it up. Yeah, I see, like this. And then I'm going to take my pry tools and just going to ease out that adhesive like this. So I'll place it there so it holds, but now we'll do the other side as well with this other pry tool. So I've loosened the adhesive. I can just pull this lens out like this, and we have exposed the full top screen. I'll fold this up so I'll avoid scratching it in that area. So I'll put the camera on there so it'll be face safe in this position. So I have the bad screen lens here. I mean, I can see it's pretty scratched up, but in order to make this perfect, we have to replace this. So I have our new screen lens over here, so let's replace it with this. So I've peeled off all the adhesive off the screen lens, so I'll just place it off on our screen. So very carefully not to get any dust in there. I'm just going to push it down. And I think I did it correctly, so I'm just going to push it down so the adhesive sticks. And you really need to be sure not to get any dust in there, so let me check. And it seems to be clean. I think that looks brand new as well. That's great. And now let's finish this up. But before I close down the shell, I want to turn the console on to see if we did a good job with the lens and we didn't rip anything out of the top screen. And let's see, yep, that looks brand new. That looks great. Okay, I would just want to make sure, so now let's close it up and move on to the top shell. So now that we have fixed the lens, we can now move on to the top shell. So I have a brand new top shell here, and you need to replace these camera filters, so don't forget those. So now let's replace this. As you can see, I put on those camera filters, and now I'll put the plate on the console and push it down. These third-party plates tend to be a bit like a misfit, so you really need to push it in with some force, so it's really on there. And I'm just gonna really push it in and make sure those sides are in nicely. Now that the top shell is finished, I will now move on to the bottom shell. So you have to unscrew these 2 screws, and I'll just pry it open like this. And I can see there's no free SD card for me, but there is a free stylus. That's good. And I'll remove the battery as well, which is a bit pluffed up, but I can see it's really dirty on this console here. So I'm just gonna give it a nice clean with some isopropyl alcohol over here. So now that I've cleaned some gunk off the system, I will now replace this bad shell. But as you can see, the screws I've removed. So these screws are a bit tricky to remove. You need to hold the mechanism in place with some tweezers so you can unscrew it. So I will add those screws onto this new shell. To screw them in, I will just hold the mechanism and just screw it in. It's a bit tricky, but I think I got it. So I'll just put this new shell in. Like I said, these third-party shells tend to be a bit like a misfit, so you really need to push it in and make sure it's on there. You can use the screws to verify that it's actually in there. So there we go. We've installed both of the shells, and the console looks extremely clean. Now let's peel off the plastic to reveal the beautiful shell. So after that very satisfying feel, I would just rescrew these 4 screws and replace the screw covers. So I successfully fixed this new 3DS XL. Tune in next week to find out if I can repair the last Japanese new 3DS XL, and I'll see you in the next video.